before I start this video for real, I just want to cover two more things regarding the previous two episodes, Celestial Advice and All Bottled Up. First thing, I want to say one more thing about the Celestial Advice. Yes, as you saw during my review for that episode, I thought that really all the graduation ceremony preparation scenes with all the characters we do know felt a little bland. And the only part of the episode that really felt, really entertaining and really, nice to watch was all the Celestia parts. And I especially like the part where Celestia says, I didn't know my name was used in vain.
I can't just send her off to Celestia knows where without thinking it through.
I was not aware that I was an expression. An appropriate one, of course.
That is one of my most favorite parts of the entire episode. Like, seriously, Celestia? You didn't even assume that your name was, used as an expression? I mean, come on. I mean, you know us bronies. I mean, we're in the equestrian lifestyle, so instead of, oh my god, or oh my lord, we say, oh, sweet Celestia. Or, I just can't send her to, Celestia knows where. But I mean, why is all this praise going to Celestia? Why can't, Luna's name also be used as an expression? Like, maybe her name can be a replacement to the word Lord. Like, we would say, oh dear Luna. We got to see what Celestia thought about her name being used in vain, and her reaction was, I didn't know my name was also an expression. A suitable one, but yeah, whatever. And lastly, I want to talk about the song Best Friends Until the End from All Bottled Up. I feel like I may have judged the song a little too harsh. Yet again, it felt really unnecessary in an episode like that. Like, it felt like it was out of nowhere. It felt like kind of an average pop song, but the chorus of that song was just stuck in my head for days that followed. I just always found myself quietly singing the chorus to myself every time.
And that's because everything we need is all right here when we're with our team.
So yeah, it's not a bad song. I definitely don't hate it. It's not a horrible song, but it's just not the best song. But I mean, damn, it's really catchy, so... Alright, now let's start the reaction. For real this time. Hello and good evening, everyone. I am Mr. Chaos the Cunning Wolf, and it's Saturday, so I'm going to be reacting to the new episode of MLP Season 7. This episode is Episode 3, Flurry of Emotions. Okay, so... from what I saw from a couple of thumbnails that came up in my suggestions, and a couple of sneak peeks, this is going to be a Flurry Heart episode. Okay, I have literally no theories for this episode. Okay, remember when I reacted to a Season 7 promo a little while ago, and I saw a snippet of Flurry Heart, like, riding a shopping cart through a supermarket? Pretty sure this is going to be in this episode. And that also means we're going to find out who that brown pony who was hugging Shining Armor and Princess Cadence was. We're going to find out. And we're also going to find out what this has to do with Flurry Heart, or whatever it even is. So, anyway, so yes, without further ado, let's get started.
Oh, Princess Twilight, every pony at the hospital is so excited for
Hey, Nurse Redheart!
I'm never too busy to visit sick foals. I can't believe a whole class just came down with the horsey hives.
Oh, no.
School picture day 2.
Oh, that's just sad.
Poor dears really do need cheering up.
We'll do our best.
Of course, I mean, I guess they all hate school, but now they get, a really shitty picture taken of them. That sucks.
We'll see you soon.
Okay, if we want to be at the hospital by lunch, then we have 3 hours to buy get-well presents, borrow a book from the schoolhouse, and pick up treats.
It's a lot, but if we stick to the schedule, I know we can get it all done.
Yeah, Twilight with her schedule, just trust her organization skills and we can get this all done in a jiffy.
Surprise!
Why do you still look like that, Shining?
Oh my gosh!
Why didn't she just say, oh my Celestia? I'm sorry.
I'm good. I was hoping my favorite could watch me for a few hours.
I hope you're not too busy.
Actually, we kind of are.
Busy? Psh. Would the best aunt ever be too busy to spend time with this adorable little one?
I mean, I guess it's fair enough. That face.
My little
Okay, this is actually the very first time I've seen the theme song for season 7. So let's see if there's anything different about it. I don't think it's changed. Oh, the logo's different. It's recolored. I actually like it better. I like that logo better. The good old Plurpies. Okay, this is nice to see. Another behaving like a dog picture.
I'm excited to show you I've done some shopping for Flurry Heart.
Oh, you're so sweet. You didn't have to do all that.
Okay, that's a nice face, Princess Cadence, even though you kind of look like shit from all that stress. I mean, you still look okay.
Open this one, Flurry.
Mashed peas, her favorite.
And diapers. Extra diapers. Oh,
Uh.
back up, extra diapers.
Oh my god, what did she have, diarrhea or something?
Oh, you want to pretend we're the bears? I suppose we have time for a quick game.
Wow, Flurry Heart is becoming pretty smart pretty fast. Like she hasn't cried yet, and she can actually reply with either a this way or that way. Oh god.
You know, that was a very advanced spell for some pony your
Yeah, I don't know why so many people hate Flurry Heart.
After your Auntie Twily.
What are you trying to do?
Was pretty adorable. But now,
Were you trying to twist your own face or something?
I just have to feed her real quick.
Oh, I thought that was her diarrhea or something. I'm sorry, but with all those diapers, I mean, who needs that many in just one day?
Is this arts or a mistake?
I have no idea.
Maybe Discord made it. Maybe that's why it's a mistake. Hey, there's that brown pony. Who's that?
And latest piece, 1,000 nights in a hallway.
Wow, I guess nighttime in a hallway.
It makes sense, though.
Aw, come on, Spike.
Maybe Flurry Heart's like how-to basics kid here.
only 20.
Grab some toys and we are out of here.
Ah, here's the supermarket. She's spoiled enough already. Do you need to get her any more stuff?
Well, I know a game that's even more fun and more efficient. Playing race cards.
I used to do this as a kid every time I went grocery shopping with my guys. I would get so bored and I would always play race cards.
Twilight? Should I just cancel our visit to the hospital?
What? Cancel? We can't cancel, Spike. The sick fools are counting on us. And the BAE would never throw in the towel like that.
BAE?
Best aunt ever. Besides, this area is gonna be...
There's another BBB thing from Twilight. First we had BBBFF and
trouble.
maybe this is just the second BBB thing or whatever. Hey, Pinky. Oh, cool. We get to see Flurry Heart interact with them.
Already. Cheerio milk cookies with yellow sprinkles. Great. Can you write sorry on them? I've got a stamp for that.
Yeah, that's a sorry face there. Uh-oh. Guys. Wait, is Flurry Heart gonna break it up?
Hey, you guys. No need to fight. Hang on. I'm sure there's another one. No, not this one. That's cute.
We'll play in a second.
Great. Oh no!
The sales pony at the toy store.
Twilight, turn around already. What? Come on, just stay there. Your shield would have prevented them from hitting you.
no.
Oh god, Piggy's eyes!
Really made.
Wonderful.
Told you I'd find another one.
It's not your fault, Spike.
Twilight, out of the question. We are not canceling. It's gonna be okay. It has to be okay. It's been
Twilight, just let it go.
Flurry Heart, put us all down this instant.
Put them down gently, thank you.
Flurry, that was very, very bad. You could have hurt something.
Oh no.
Flurry, I didn't mean to. Sweetie, you don't have to be scared. It's just me. See?
Okay, I like the shadowing in this episode. It looks pretty good.
Scared of me because I yelled at you like a big scary bear. Flurry, I'm so sorry. I've been a terrible aunt today. All you
What?
wanted to do was play, and I've barely been.
Twilight,
able
you
to
haven't
pay
been
attention
terrible.
to
I mean, you showed her a good time in the beginning.
It's mine. So much for being the best aunt ever. But I
Okay,
don't
this scene
want
feels
to
really
be
forced.
Oh, I take it you forgive me? Thanks, Flurry. How
Well, I mean, I know she's a baby, but I mean, damn, that was easy.
Of course.
This one kind of reminds me of Flurry's.
A Flurry Heart. Yeah, exactly.
And this one reminds me of Flurry too.
How so?
It's small, like her. I can't do this anymore. Spearhead, this has been great, but
Say no more. My art has always spoken to me about what I love. But knowing that it spoke to you about what you love speaks to me.
what?
Go to her.
He's a pretty nice guy. Yeah, you were doing this in the beginning, so how can you tell? How can you just say you've been a terrible aunt this whole time? I like that face.
We definitely should have given you more of a heads up.
Yes. From now on, we'll give you plenty of notice.
Well, I mean, if only cell phones existed in Equestria, then they'd be... Well, I mean, no, they could just send her a letter, so...
The dashing dragon will breathe a scorching flame from his snout.
Reading the story of the hunky dragon. I'm just kidding.
If you can't stand the heat, don't fight a dragon.
Hey, you kind of look like him.
Thank you. Okay, now who wants more cake?
There's that sorry face still. Okay, I mean, that wasn't really a bad episode. Okay, so that was MLP Season 7, Episode 3, Flurry of Emotions. And, okay, I honestly have mixed feelings about this episode, and, you know, well, for the first time in my, you know, session of reacting to Season 7, I didn't really felt like I really needed to watch this episode a second time because I got a pretty good idea of what I would say about it afterwards. In the beginning, it was actually really cute and charming to see Twilight, you know, finally get to, you know, interact more, you know, with Flurry Heart, and she got to actually be an aunt, you know, spending quality time with, you know, the new baby. And so yeah, that was really cute and fun to see. And this episode, like, the pace of this episode felt, it felt like it dragged a little bit. Like, it was still fun to watch. I mean, the supermarket scene was, you know, pretty funny to watch with Twilight, you know, pushing the cart with Flurry Heart in it really fast all around the store. Like I said during the reaction, I used to do that pretty much all the time when I was just a kid. Like, whenever we'd go grocery shopping, I would get so bored, but because I was always the one pushing the cart, I would always pretend like I'm playing Need for Speed, and I would pretend like I'm drifting around corners. Well, in this case, I'm drifting around shopping aisles in the cart, you know, pretending like I'm drifting around corners and I'm going at breakneck speeds, and sometimes I would even near miss other customers pretending there were traffic, and, you know, in my mind I was getting near miss points driving oncoming for this long and, you know, gain more nitro. Yeah. I used to do that all the time in the store because it was so boring. But anyway, so yeah, that scene was fun because it reminded me of when I used to do that, and again, it was fun to see Twilight interact with Flurry Heart, this well and with such a happy mood. I really couldn't help but feel bad for Spike pretty much through this whole episode. I mean, all he was trying to do was be, Twilight's, assistant, as he's always trying to do, but it really feels like non-stop, just Spike feels like he's always the one that's getting bumped around or ignored until the very end of the episode, and then there's like a resolution, like, oh, I should have listened to, or oh, I shouldn't treat you this way, I'm so sorry, Spike. Speaking of sorries, Twilight's apology to Flurry Heart, I mean, I know Flurry Heart's just a baby, and she can, she can forgive people easy enough because she hasn't really grown up and become a little more mature yet, but the apology felt, in episode-wise, the apology to me felt a little rushed. Like, it felt a bit forced. Like, Twilight just realizes that Flurry Heart's doing all this all because she just wants attention. And then Twilight's like, oh, I'm so sorry. And she even goes as far as saying, I've been a terrible aunt. The way she said it made me feel like she was saying she's been a horrible aunt this whole time. Like, it's not like she, neglected her, from the very beginning. They were playing at the beginning. And they were also playing at the supermarket, so... I mean, it may not be a flaw, but... To me, it really felt like Twilight was just saying out of the random. Like, she was saying, I was a horrible aunt this whole time we've been hanging out. I don't know, I mean, that may not be the case, but to me, that's what it sounded like to me, I'm just saying. And yeah, it was nice seeing more speech from Nurse Redheart. Yeah, Pinky was a nice relief in this episode. Like, after seeing all this ordeal with Twilight and Spike and Flurry Heart, we get to see Pinky, and yeah, that's a nice sorry stamp there, Pinky. Like, instead of, a nice handwritten word, sorry, in cursive or kingdom lettering or whatever. No, it's just a puppy face. It's just like that puppy sad face. I mean, to some people that'll be the most convincing sorry face, but we all know Pinky. She's the good old wild comic relief character we all know. When I really think about it, when I really put my head to it, there really isn't much to say about this episode. I mean, it was a good episode because it was cute, it was fun, it was charming. But I mean, I'm not really a baby fanboy. Like, I'm like, oh my god, it's so cute! No, I mean, I have my standards. Like, I have my certain levels, and I mean, for an MLP episode, it was charming to see, and it was nice to see, Twilight, interacting more with the new kid, Flurry Heart. So, I mean, that was fun to see, but I mean, in terms of the storyline, in terms of the episode, like, I did like the relatable lesson. I mean, the lesson is pretty relatable for people who are, really stressed, or people who are always, working, or, working on something nonstop and they have a tight schedule. It's a good lesson, we shouldn't just accept an odd job or a task when we're already swamped at a time, because create something like this. The outcome is not really good. And we end up overstressing. Like, we should make sure that, we have free time to actually, do something when, somebody asks us for a favor or somebody asks us to do something. So, I mean, I really like the lesson. And, I mean, like I said, just the one flaw, I think maybe a flaw in this episode is the apology part felt a bit forced, but I mean, it's a 20-minute episode, and I guess that was really the only shortest alternative for that scene they had. But still, I for some reason feel it could have been done in a bit of a better way. But I don't know, I mean, it's still a pretty cool idea, and it was nice to see Flurry Heart having some fun and just fooling around with her overly powerful alicorn magic. But, yeah, would I give this episode a 10 out of 10? I wouldn't say so, but I think I would give it about a 7 out of 10 or a 6 out of 10, because, I mean, the Pinky part was really fun, and, yeah, that brown pony, he turned out to be, like, a guy who talks about, you know, how Art speaks to him, and, you know, he gives his pieces pretty, you know, accurate titles. Like, he named the Black Picture 1,000 Nights in One Night. And, I mean, that's true. I mean, it's really dark, and could be, like, thousands of pictures of night skies just on the same picture, so I guess that's why it's just all black. And honestly, I mean, here's something that's kind of relatable to the episode just prior to it, All Bottled Up. It felt like the scene switches to Flash... Why was I about to say Flash Sentry? I don't want to talk about that guy. The scene switches with a Shining Armor, thank you, and Princess Cadence, just like the previous episode, felt also kind of a little unnecessary. I mean, I don't know. I mean, the brown pony who said, you know, specific art speaks to him. I mean, that was nice advice, but did we really need those scenes? It makes me think again. Just like the episode just prior to this, where the scene changes to characters who are away from a main ordeal. Oh my god, that's another This is very relatable to the previous episode. This is a pretty relatable kind of semi-problem. Like, we have an ordeal that's going on with main characters after, you know, the other characters who ask them to do the certain task leave. And we wouldn't really expect to see scene changes, you know, from us going from the main situation and then to the characters who just went away for just some time off, you know, in the episode. I mean, is it really necessary? It's almost like this episode is a sequel to the previous episode, only, you know, it's a different story and different ordeal. You know, Starlight Glimmer isn't in this episode, Trixie isn't in this episode, and the only other main six character in this episode is really Pinky. So, honestly, now that I think about it, this episode kind of felt like a more watered-down version of All Bottled Up. And yes, that means I am saying Bottled Up is better than this episode. Now that I think about it, because of All Bottled Up's relatable lesson, you know, Trixie's funny jokes, even though she was making Starlight angry, and the fun but yet a bit unnecessary song from the main six. I mean, if I said that episode was about the same level as Celestial Advice, I kind of take that back a little bit. I would give that episode, I think, about an 8 out of 10 now, while I would give this episode, I think, about a 6 or 7 out of 10, just 1 point below. But, I mean, what else can I say? I mean, it was a fun little episode. Definitely not the best, and definitely not my most favorite. I mean, I like the interaction between Twilight and Flurry Harden. I like how we got to see Flurry Harden interact with the baby cakes. Obviously, that didn't end very well. But, I mean, again, the lesson, it just goes to show that when we have a swamped schedule, I mean, when we're already working on a lot of things, you know, we shouldn't just accept more and more jobs that people may throw at us. We have to tell them, I'm sorry, I mean, even though I would really love to, I'm busy right now, so let's just negotiate when I have free time, and then we'll set a schedule. Or you can remind me ahead of time. Again, if only cell phones existed in Equestria, but like I said during the reaction, well, I mean, they can always just send letters as well. I mean, Twilight always sent letters to Princess Celestia, so, it's still possible. Okay. But, anyway, so yeah, I would give this episode like a 6 or 7 out of 10. I mean, it wasn't the best, but its lesson was pretty good, and again, it felt like a more watered down version of All Bottled Up. Because of that observation I just made, you know, the scene changes are very relatable. But anyway, so that was my reaction to and review on MLP Season 7, Episode 3, Flurry of Emotions. Hope you guys got a little something out of this review. Hope maybe your thoughts have changed about this episode. If they have, let me know in the comments section as always. So, thank you for joining me this afternoon. If you like the content on my channel, please don't forget to subscribe. Only if you actually enjoy the content on my channel. Never just because I asked you to. And, as always, I will see you guys in the next video that I do. Brohoof, and have a good evening, everyone.